Hello everyone and welcome back to my channel. This is Sharon and today's video is going to be my week 1 check-in. So I'm just going to flip really quick to my monthly view, and I have all my stickers laid out for my bills and my days off, my laundry, and all of the items that I think that I'll need throughout the month. This is also where I lay down my stickers, my expense stickers, to track my expenses on a monthly basis. And so this is just a compliment card from Erin Condren that I ordered, and it's color coded with my legend. The blue is for my allowance and grooming, which I check in for on a weekly basis under personal, and the green is my eating out and groceries, which I check in under groceries on my weekly check-in. The yellow is for gas, the lavender is for other, and the red is for unbudgeted. And so typically what I do is just lay my stickers out on my monthly spread, and then I will go to my weekly check-in and fill in whatever I spent and what the remaining balance is. This is my budget for this month. So I'm just gonna quickly go through and just write out my categories. So my first category is personal. Next I have groceries, then gas, and last but not least, unbudgeted. Let me just go in right quick and fill in my lines. Okay, so this is what it's looking like after I put my lines in. Also, what I want to do is just write in how I broke down my month by week. So for week 1, I'm going to count from the 1st through the 8th. For week 2, I'm going to check in from the 9th through the 15th. For week 3, I'm going to check in for the 16th through the 22nd. And for week 4, I'm going to check in from the 23rd through the 30th. And the remaining I'm going to leave for my results, because I like to do a roll up at the end. So I like to break my month down into 4 weeks. I already have my expenses written out. I didn't have very many expenses the first week because, you know, everybody's practicing social distancing. And as I mentioned in my previous video, I did stock up on groceries at the end of March to prevent me from having to go out every week. So I'm trying to just do major shopping like every other week, so that I'm not hoarding, but I am getting enough for what we need since we're home all day. So I did have a couple of grocery expenses for week 1. So on Saturday, April 4th, I went to Giant, which is a grocery store in my neighborhood, and I spent $39. And also on the 4th, I went to Target just to get a couple of grocery items as well. And I spent $31. That was pretty much all that I had for week 1 with regards to spending from my cash envelopes, because I haven't been anywhere. I've been working from home, and I haven't really had the need to spend any money. I'm just going to flip back over to my weekly check-in and just kind of write down what I spent and then what I'm looking like as far as remaining totals for some of the items that I rolled over from last month, as well as what I've added to the budget for this month. I spent a total of $70 this month for groceries so far. To start off with my personal, I spent $0. Remaining, I have $515. And that, like I mentioned earlier, is my grooming cash envelope as well as my allowance. So I currently have $415 in my grooming cash envelope, and I have $100 in my allowance. And since I spent nothing the first week, I still have $515 remaining. In my groceries, I spent a total of $70. I've allocated $350 this month, according to my budget, for groceries, and I've allocated $150 for my eating out this month. So that gives me a total of $500 that I have to spend in this category. For my gas, I didn't have any expenses for the first week. I carried over $67 from last month. I only allocated $100 this month, and I had $67 remaining from the previous month. So that's $167 that I have remaining for gas. For unbudgeted, I didn't have any unbudgeted expenses for this month, and I don't budget anything for unbudgeted, so that remains at 0. I am projecting that I may have an unbudgeted expense for this month because I received an email from my son's school regarding purchase of yearbooks. So I didn't allocate that for this month. So depending on when the due date is, I may have an unbudgeted expense for this month. So as soon as I find out what the price is, and he's already told me that he does want one. So since it's looking like they may not go back to school for the rest of the school year, I do definitely want to get him that, since he is in 5th grade and he'll be transitioning to a totally new school next year. I do want him to have that if he would like it. So I may have an unbudgeted expense if in fact I purchase that this month. So let me just go back to my monthly view. And since I've already added this to the Target and the Giant Run to my weekly check-in, I just want to check them off on my monthly view. I also want to check off my mortgage because that was paid, and I also want to check off my lawn care because that was paid during week 1. It's really light, I know. I didn't have a whole lot of expenses, which is a good thing because that means that I'll stay on target and I won't overspend for this month. But what I do want to also do is go to my sinking funds because I did make some purchases online. So I do want to annotate those, and those comes out of the items that I purchased come out of my clothes sinking fund, which I currently have. I added $300 this month, and I started with $105, so I have a total of $405. On 4/6, I made a couple of purchases in the total of $169, and I made a purchase from Key. I also bought myself and the kids a couple of things from the Gap. So that's what I spent $169 for. That's why I increased this sinking fund this month, so that I could pick up a couple of things as we move into the new season. So I did pick that up. The other thing that I am anticipating is my trash as well as my Costco renewal. So when I go to Costco, I'll make sure that I have the money with me to pay for my renewal fee, since I do have that already set aside in my sinking fund, and it should be about $120. And then my trash is due this month, so I will pay that because it's a quarterly expense. And when I pay that on around the 22nd of this month, I also add that down below. And so that reminds me, when I did my initial budget setup, I did not add a sticker for my trash, but I will do so at this time. And my trash is going to be due on the 22nd. So I'll just add this there, and I typically just pay that online, but I've already set up for it online, and then I'll take the money out of my out of my sinking funds, and put that into my bank envelope, and I'll deposit that back into my account. So I wanted to make sure that I added that to my monthly view, and I've also added it to my overview page as well. I've added the trash on here, and I just like to do this as a quick glance to make sure that I'm keeping track of everything that I need to keep track of. And I just checked my bills off on here as well. Childcare, I don't know if that's going to come out next week. but we'll see. We're waiting for word from the superintendent as to whether or not school is going to be closed beyond April 24th, or whether or not they're thinking that the kids may be able to go back to school. So now that I've completed my weekly check-in, I'm going to move on to my 52-week challenge, which I've explained before in my previous videos, but I'll mention it again to you for those of you who are new to my channel. I'm doing a 52-week challenge where I'm saving $378, and it's a weekly challenge. Typically, you would go 1 week after the next, and week 1 you would save $1, week 2 you would save $2. But to make it a little bit interesting, I said that I would pick a number at random during my weekly check-ins, and I would add up all the 4 weeks for that month at the end of the month, and then put that dollar amount into my 52-week challenge, as opposed to just going week by week. So what I've done is all the available numbers, I've added them, written them down on a piece of paper, and added them to this mason jar. And every week I shake it up and I select a number. All the numbers that I've previously picked are in this little baggie, and I just keep them just so I know what's been picked and they're separated from what's remaining. So I'm just going to set this to the side. I'm going to put the top back on, and then where I've laid down my 52-week challenge chart is in the back in my notes section. Everything that you see here highlighted in pink is numbers that have already been picked. When I started weeks 1 through 9, I was just going week by week. But when I decided to mix it up a little bit and make it a little bit more random, I started highlighting as I picked the weeks. So what I'll do right now is I'll just give it a little shake, the jar. And then I'm going to pick a number and record that number for this week. And I've budgeted for the highest 4 numbers that could possibly be picked for what is left. So I've budgeted for 52, 51, 50, and 49. So just so that I'd be able to cover whatever it is that I pick. And for week 14, I've picked 46. So that means I'll have to add $46 for this week. So I'm going to set that to the side, and I'm going to get my Sharpie so that I can fill in 46, since I've chosen 46. I'm just going to fill this in so we know that this number is already chosen. And I'm going to take the number, I'm going to place it into this baggie. And what I like to do is just place the bag back into the jar. I'll put the top back on. And then, just so that I can see what I've chosen at a glance, I like to keep track also in my notes section of my monthly view, because this is easy for me to know what I need to get out of the bank at the end of the month so that I can add it to my challenge. So for week 14, I'll be adding $46. And what I'm doing is keeping the funds in this little box right here that I got from the dollar store. Believe it or not, it cost about $3, and I bought this from the dollar store a couple years back. So I've just been keeping my funds in here, and this is all the funds that I've had so far from the weeks that I've already chosen through March. So like I said, when I do my week 4 check-in and I pick my 4th number, then I'll know what I need to put into this box for the month of April. That's what I have for you for my week 1 check-in for the month of April. Not a whole lot of expenses, but I'm still happy about the fact that I'm not on target to overspend or anything of that nature. I haven't had any unbudgeted expenses. So I am happy about that, but I just want to say I hope that everyone is safe and that you're enjoying this additional time, if you're able to spend with your families and we'll all get through this, and I'm hopeful that everything will go back to normal, or what we know as normal, soon. So if you like the content that you saw here today, please like, subscribe, and leave me a comment below. Let me know how you're going about doing your savings and budgeting. I'm always looking to learn. All of the stickers that you see here today are available in my Etsy shop for sale. I have stickers up for the month of April as well as the month of May, and I'll be creating my kits for June here very shortly. So stop by, check out my shop on Etsy, and I'm also on Instagram at Sharon Plans. So stop by, and I hope to see you in my next video. Bye now.